Welcome to Secura Law Experience. I'm Luis Elizalde, founder of Secura Law. I'm here with
Stephanie de la Millar.
And Eduardo Beauregard. Today we have a guest. His name is Adrien Gibson, and he's from C Real Estate Mexico.
founder.
Founder, yeah.
Pound.
You don't know.
No, I thought you said from there.
No.
I'm from Texas.
From the sea.
I own C Real Estate Mexico.
Good. Good.
Thank you. Thank you for being here, Adrien.
Thank you for inviting me.
No, it's a
I've known
pleasure.
both of you for quite some time. We actually used to be kids too one time. You know, we
I
were
bet.
your
Years
age.
ago.
We were in our
I
20s.
bet.
We were in our 20s. So, gentlemen, we were having quite an interesting topic before the cameras came on. And,
Okay.
Let's probably...
Which one?
Well, I think we should stay away from that.
Oh, okay.
Just when it comes
No,
to...
about your real estate company.
Luis, here's the deal. I've been in business for 20-something years, licensed out of Texas. Came down to Mexico about 18 years ago. Been here in Playa del Carmen about 14 years. And we specialize in luxury oceanfront properties. So it's a very niche market.
Okay.
But I can sit here and bore you with the details of the difference between a corporation, a fideicomiso, what the tax benefits of all that are. But you have enough people on here that let's make this interesting.
Would you like to talk about your journey? How you came down here?
Oh, how I came down here?
That'll
Lived
be
in
interesting.
Texas. Went up to California back when I was about 20 pounds lighter, a little bit younger, modeled, and just decided, whoa, California is not for me. So
Why though? Prices
Do
going
I
up?
really have to explain?
Yes.
That'd be interesting.
Yeah,
Let's make
it could
this
be.
interesting.
Prices. I was living in Manhattan Beach.
Wow.
Didn't want to model anymore. Looked on a map and I said, got my real estate business in Texas. I said, where can I drive to? So I was going to go to Oregon. At the last minute, I saw something called Baja California, Mexico. I said,
Okay.
I'm from the United States. Our education system sucks. I have no idea what this is.
Where is located?
Let's go find out.
What is it? But I looked at the prices of the house and I said,
Looks interesting.
I can get a mansion down here.
Yeah.
So I crossed the border and I was only going to stay about 6 months and I don't know, the time just passed by. I think I was there about 6 years
Nice. Which city in Baja?
I jumped around La Bufadora, Punta Banda, Ensenada, Rosarito. I even got really into archaeology and took off down to Peru.
No way.
Chile, all those kind of places. But I said, you know what? They're wonderful, but Mexico, growing up in Texas, you're used to the culture. You're used to the food. I loved Peru. Was not really big into eating hamsters,
Of course.
I mean, the food was a little bit different, okay? Did a lot of research, and I realized that Playa del Carmen was a growing city.
Town.
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 Back then, it was a town.
Still.
Still, it's a town.
I think it's a little like Ensenada.
No, Ensenada, no.
Ensenada has a Costco.
No.
Meat drop.
Yeah.
It seemed like an area that was, a great place to invest in, but it was an international city. So I get down here and never intended on staying. 6 months here, I'll go somewhere else. But what made me stay was the people.
You're talking 2005? No.
I have no idea. Whatever 14 years ago was. So it was
2010?
2010. There we go.
2010?
Yeah, it's about the time I met you. So it was the people because it's an international city. So, the problem with Cabo or Rosarito or some of those other areas, it's a bunch of Canadians and people from Vancouver.
That's it.
Here, there's a huge Russian community. There's a lot of
Italians.
here,
Argentinians.
a lot of Argentinians, a lot of people from
Venezuela, Colombia, yeah.
Venezuela, Colombia, South America,
Europe.
Israel, Europe,
Germany.
everywhere.
Yeah.
And there's
nice.
a sense of community because it's a city where nobody's actually
From, yeah.
So the first thing you ask somebody when you meet them is, where are you from? And I went over to Puerto Vallarta, and my buddy pulls me aside, and he goes, listen, stop asking everybody that. He goes, they're from Puerto Vallarta. And I said, oh, okay.
That's a culture shock.
It's culture shock. But, it's just, we've formed these pseudo families. So if I need something, I call you or call Luis or one of my other friends or something like that, and we're all kind of here for each other. Plus, you can't go wrong with the investments down here. You pick the right spot. It's
totally.
I think we broke records. 2023 there was 30 million people flying into the Cancun airport.
Wow.
And now we have the Tulum airport and all of that. And there's another aspect behind it that really sticks out to me. It's the...
But what do you think about... Sorry to interrupt you.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
what do you think about Tulum? In the real estate aspect, in your experience and the way that you're seeing Tulum, the way that you see how Playa grow. Tulum, and now with the airport that is not in Tulum.
Yeah.
How do you see that?
If you want my honest
Yeah,
opinion,
your
okay,
opinion.
all right. Look, I'm just gonna be honest with you. Okay?
Yeah. It's recorded.
If you want to wear a Hawaiian shirt and a fanny pack, go to Cancun. Okay. If you want culture and you want to be around people from all over the place, I can sit there with
Playa.
a man who's got $300 million in the bank and a man who's got $300 in the bank, and we're both gonna sit at Zenzi and we're going
and
to
enjoy a beer.
have a beer, and nobody cares.
Exactly.
Now, there's a differentiation between Playa too. You got Playa Car, you got El Cielo, you have other neighborhoods, that are completely separate and different from each other. In Tulum, you have one street, you have Aldea Zama, excuse me. Aldea Zama again. And
Aldazama.
that's pretty much it. The beach is not quite as accessible.
Exactly.
And it just doesn't have the infrastructure. I want to be able to go watch a movie down the street in 3D that just came out. I want to be able to, if I want to go to Tulum for the weekend, great. I will drive 30 minutes. If my wife wants to go shopping, great. We'll just drive to Cancun to where the better stores are.
Yeah.
Or I'll go to, something like a Zara where we all wear the same damn clothes because
The only thing that
it's the
what
only
we have.
place that we can shop, and sometimes I don't feel like driving to Cancun. There's a differentiation between the two. If I ever decide to tattoo my face and get into yoga and stuff, then hey, maybe I might end up in Tulum myself, okay?
Yeah.
But the prices?
The prices
Crazy, right?
are...
Not make sense.
I don't get
From my point of view.
Look, I'm not going to speak negatively about any
No.
particular area, but the price is ridiculous, especially if I want to be on the ocean. That's $3 million off top, minimum.
At least.
A condo, you want to sell me a studio that's 300 square feet for $175,000? Are you out of your absolute mind?
Exactly.
Not going to happen. So,
But it's happening. That's the words.
well, it's happening,
Yeah.
but see, you have to think about this, the oversaturation of the market. Tulum has areas to grow. Tulum is growing in this way, and this way, and this way, and this way. Playa is what it is. Playa Car blocks development south, okay? So you can't build south. You can't go too far north either, because after Colosio, what do? You hit Corosol, and then you hit all of the mega resorts. So what I like about Playa is we're always going to remain a small city. You have... one, the restrictions on the building height, so we never become a Cancun and congested. Two, we can only build within this little area right here. Everything's moving a little bit west, but I mean, how far west can you actually go? So, Playa's home. I'm not going anywhere. You guys are stuck with me.
Yeah.
And
That's it.
I think, in my opinion, as a
Playa guy.
as a native, basically, Tulum is just a gold mine. They see in Tulum what Playa del Carmen was 15 years ago,
Sure.
Kind of.
and they just want to get the quick buck. I think that's the problem with Tulum, and they're overselling it, and they don't have the infrastructure. They have nothing, and they're gonna mess it up.
They're gonna mess it up.
I think if they don't go carefully, they'll.
No,
mess
that's
it up.
amazing. Perfect.
Yeah, I mean, it's the only place so far, right?
I know a really good realtor.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey,
I can call you.
yeah, you call me and I'll well, you drive us down there. And let's not forget gas is $7 a gallon here now. So premium. So anyways, one of the things about this particular area, and I don't want to go too deep into this, but I've been doing a lot of research in archaeology for most of my life. Okay, that's one of the reasons that I actually moved to Peru. When you see things like Sacsayhuaman, or you go hiking up the mountains of Machu Picchu or something along those lines, there's a special energy, okay? And there's a special energy in this area. Now, if you look back at history and you see the Great Pyramids, for instance, Napoleon, during his time, right before he was exiled, he actually went to the Great Pyramid and he went up there inside.
Egypt.
In Egypt. He stayed quite a while. He didn't say, finally came out and they asked him, he said, did you see everything? What would you see? And everything. And he was very quiet and pale. And so actually on his deathbed, he was going to tell his historian about the story. And I think his last quote was, "What does it matter? You're not going to believe me anyways." You see, there was something to do with these pyramids because mathematically these pyramids
are perfect.
They're damn near perfect. And we cannot duplicate them today. Each one of those blocks on the pyramid is a totally different size just so it matches up. Now, one of the funny things about it is you can't tell me that all the cultures, and I know a lot of people are going to use that monkey research study where they learn how to do things on one island even though they're separated. No, you cannot tell me that you're going to find advanced mathematics over there. There's actually more pyramids in North America than anywhere. They just, haven't uncovered them all. This area has, these pyramids, there's something about this area that just gives off good energy. Everyone here gets along. We don't fight. We don't talk about politics very much, We're all from different places. We respect each other. And I think that's one of the most poignant aspects of why I stayed. It's just the energy of this place. And there's something that the ancient civilizations, I don't know if the Mayans built it. They say they do, but there are some tribes that say they don't. Just like...
Teotihuacan.
Like Teotihuacan, okay, which is built to 1/50th of a percentage difference between the Great Pyramids of Giza. Something happened in the past, whether it was a prior civilization that fell, a reset,
we don't
something
know about.
happened.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you something interesting. This is one of the funnest things you can do. When you get home, Google any major city, Chicago, Houston, any major city, Los Angeles, New York, and type in the Great Fire of. And I don't care what city you pull up.
There is always a fire.
Between the late 1800s and the early 1900s, there was a huge fire that burned everything down. And something it doesn't sit right with me about that. Especially like the World's Fair in Chicago, where they built this basically Roman Colosseum. They said, "Oh, well, that was just for the World's Fair, just for a couple weeks or so." No. I can see the pictures. I can see what it looks like. Like this is there was something here before, So civilizations rise and fall. I want to enjoy my life. I used to sell on ROI. You asked me about the prices and all that kind of stuff. I used to sell on long-term, short-term ROI because what? Everybody loves to make money. But as I've gotten older...
Yeah, is that true?
Yeah. Well, I didn't go great. You went great.
Yeah. A little bit.
As I've gotten older, I've realized that it's about quality of life. And if you look around at the world that we're living in now, quality of life is one of the most important things that you can have.
Valuable.
And family.
You cannot put any value to that.
Yeah.
And that is what this city is giving to the people. Yeah.
You can see it with people from Mexico City. You have everything there, and still
you don't
choose
want
to be here because it's much better quality of life.
Yeah.
And I think, as Adrien said, the vibes that there is here. For example, if you bring good vibes and you are willing to do good things, the area receives you. But if you're coming to do bad things, after 6 months, 1 year, for sure you're not gonna be here.
Oh, it's called the Playa Rule.
Yeah.
So everybody wants to live here because, come on, we live in paradise. Look at our water. Look at our white sand beaches.
How did you say it? Playa what?
It's called the Playa Rule. So basically, it's everybody wants to live here. They come from wherever they come from, and you get that 6-month visa when you're at the airport. Right?
Exactly. When you get in.
And some of them will make it past the 6 months, and they might go down to Belize and get it restamped or something like that. But Playa does one of two things. It either accepts you, or you become successful, and it's just a part of you become part of the community, or it chews you up, spits you out, and sends you
back where you came from.
Right back where you came from, dead broke, you know.
Yeah.
And
Here,
Spirit broken.
spirit broken, pockets broken, everything.
in Playans have a saying that's either adopts you or aborts you.
Yeah,
Yeah, for sure.
that's absolutely true.
That's
true.
the rule.
That's true.
And people most likely will try it several times. And they won't make it the first, the second, the third. They may never make it,
Yeah.
but they just...
Keep trying.
But I'm pretty sure that it's the vibe.
Yeah,
if you're
of course.
trying to look to do the good things, not only I'm gonna get money, I'm gonna get, you know, if you're looking only for that, for sure that's gonna happen. You're gonna try and try and try, and never
Never
gonna
gonna
do
make
it.
it.
If you're trying to do good actions, good things at the end, if you're looking for your family, a good quality of life, you're looking for that, for sure it's gonna be here. You're gonna be here.
And I
But-
think the part that keeps people interested is that it's very hard to go back to living in other place. Like you said, Puerto Vallarta, where everyone is from Puerto Vallarta. Here, that's the part that makes it interesting. And once you live here and experience that you go to school with a kid from France, with an Italian,
Germany,
with an
American,
with a
Canadian.
that experience, it's something else. You pick up their culture, you pick up their language, you get an advantage.
Yeah.
Because the more you experience about the world, the better your brain develops. And that's a huge asset of being here and growing up here.
And totally.
I agree with you 100%.
So nice.
Yeah. The funniest thing for me, this is something that just cracks me up, and it's just a personal thing, is you can always tell we call ourselves playenses. You can always tell a playense on the airplane. One, because we're wearing chunkless.
Yeah.
Doesn't
Yeah.
matter where we're going, we're
It's
wearing
part of
chunkless.
the outfit, of course.
Two, there's two pics. You can just watch their faces when they get off the airplane. It's either
Yeah.
or
Totally agree with you.
yeah, well, you travel all the damn.
Yeah.
You're always traveling, so you can see it, and you know.
But more I travel, more I enjoy when I arrive. When I come back and I do that, as soon as the airplane land and you go out of the airplane, you don't feel the hot like oh my god no. It's like wow, finally I'm here. I'm
home.
back. Yeah,
I'm
I'm home.
I am feeling the humidity
Yeah.
back again.
Yeah,
in my
yeah,
skin.
totally. But it's a really good thing.
Yes.
More that I travel, more that I find that playa or my home is here. You know, is as soon as I said one day, if I one day come back for a travel and I say I come back, that moment is something change. You know, and I think it's not gonna happen. But you know, it's amazing here. I love playa.
I love playa too. It's just it's amazing. Are you originally from here?
Yeah.
You're born here?
Yeah.
In Chetumal.
I mean,
no,
my
okay.
family is
Quintana
from
Roo.
Quintana Roo.
Oh, okay.
My grandmother was born here in 1950.
I thought you were Argentinian for some
No.
reason.
No.
I've known you for 12. I'm sorry.
you almost
I'm sorry.
killed him.
I'm sorry. Listen, my deepest apologies. But
Say that.
He almost jumped from the
Argentina.
chair. Boom! You killed him.
no, I have the other. You know, this is actually one of the only men who is able to score more than 2 touchdowns on me.
Yay.
Well, now I'm old, but you know, in the past, yeah, he actually he used to get me,
Pulled it off.
put a little shake and bake on me, and yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Where are you originally from?
Mexico City.
Okay, it's beautiful there too, but it's
The
also
quality of life, I've never lived there, but people tell me it's very stressful, specifically the traffic.
Quality of life. In general, the feeling that you have to be careful everything that you have to see over your shoulder all the time. You know the
Do not get robbed
the stress,
and
the
pickpocketed and
stress,
shit, yeah.
all that kind of traffic, the way the society moves. For example, all my life I studied in a really good schools with English, and all the time I was thinking, why are I learning English? Everybody speaks Spanish, you know. As soon as we arrived to Playa, we realized there is a war outside Mexico City, you know, because in Mexico City, the society is like, no, if you go outside of Mexico City, it's really
There's nothing.
danger. There is nothing. Mexico City the best. And when you go out, you understand that it's better. Oh, I love here. You know, I don't want to say that I'm never come back to Mexico City, but you never know.
You're not going back to Mexico City.
Yeah.
I know you do. You're not going back to Mexico
Yeah.
City.
No. It's
It's a
there is no
cage.
exactly. It's like good.
It's a cage.
Yeah.
Well, that's one of the things. Let me choose my words very carefully here.
No worries.
That's-
We have Eduardo.
that's-
Eduardo said word 6.
Well, that's one of the things that they're trying to change. Is they're trying to put us in these 15-minute cities. They're trying to put us in these large cities. Now, in the past, the vast majority of people were self-sustainable. They could, they had a neighbor that had a
Exactly.
cow. They had chickens in their backyard. I forget which country it was that actually solved their garbage problem with chickens.
Exactly. Finland, I think.
Yeah, I think it was Finland,
Yeah.
somewhere in that Scandinavian area.
The government gave a lot of chicken to the families.
Yeah, and it changed the ecological aspects of the. I'm gonna have to look into it. I don't want to say anything.
And the
wrong.
health and everything. They change everything.
Well, if you just look at the eggs, then you wonder what kind of eggs we're eating. Now that's. Oops, sorry.
Don't worry.
No, it's okay. No worries.
That's something that I actually.
Wanted to do.
No. That's something that I like about this particular area is I can't remember what the name of the company is, but they sell grass-fed beef. They sell Chilean fresh caught salmon. They sell chicken. Do you know what I'm talking about?
The one that you told me?
Yes.
Yeah.
And when you eat that, you wonder, what on earth am I buying from the grocery store? And then the prices are cheaper, believe it or not. And they deliver it to your house too, which I hate grocery shopping,
Super
so that's
fresh.
absolutely perfect. The meat is
Organic.
just
No, but the meat,
so
exactly.
tender. And it's grass fed. So this is twofold. One, it has to do with the energy, because studies show that, like, for instance, pigs or cows, whenever they're going through the fear that they feel, there is some sort of esoteric energy field around us. Okay, science has proved that. That's not like a conspiracy or anything. The fear runs through their body, and then you eat that
Of
fear.
course.
You know,
The
when they're-
adrenaline, all the
Stress.
chemics.
It's not just the chemicals.
It's toxic.
No.
It's the
When your
esoteric
body
energy.
reaction,
Yeah,
body reaction
exactly,
to that,
exactly.
all that is not good.
Fight or flight.
Yeah.
You know? So, that's another wonderful thing about this area is it's so accessible. And, I kind of look at what's going on in the world, and I don't really care which country you're looking at. It's an absolute nightmare out there. And so my goal is hey, if something happens, I know I can drill 3 meters deep into the ground, and there's fresh water.
Totally.
I know that I can go out lobster diving.
Oh yeah.
I know I can go out spear fishing. I know I can go out fishing. I know my family's going to eat. And that's right there is a very important aspect. And he has solar power, so, if
He can hook you up.
if for some reason I need something,
Hey,
He can hook you up.
I need to
yeah.
cook this fish.
exactly.
Definitely. And I mean, being in touch with wildlife, it's also a good part of it. We have the parks, right? Xcaret, that are not so natural now, but at least you don't have that anywhere else. I mean, that's a huge part of it. As a guy from here, I mean, I love to go to Xelha every couple of months because you just relax and eat all day.
Oh, the lake,
The
the
next
river, with
close
the
to
river
Tulum.
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
You just
fun.
go there to
That's
swim
fun.
and eat all day.
Yeah.
And it's good, at the end. Okay, now it's like more commercial and more tourist and everything. But at the end, the idea of Quintana, when they create that part, it was everything been natural. And at the end, it was good. At the beginning, I remember, it's not about the money, but I used to pay 200 pesos.
Oh yeah,
And it was amazing, Xcaret, and still. And they are still investing a lot of money to keep it that way. Still a lot of tourists, of course, but it's good. And Xelha is the same. They put in a little thing, but they are trying to keep the nature more than any other park. in the world.
It's called grounding, and actually, I should have looked more into this before speaking about it. But science shows that when your feet touch grass or dirt or something like that, there's some sort of electromagnetic field that bonds you with the earth, and that's why a lot of our ancestors or the tribes that know this information, this lost information, they know that, take your shoes off. These rubber soles are disconnecting us from the actual earth. And
Totally.
so
Because they bring all the negative energy from your body to the ground.
Yep.
When you travel, there is the difference of our. How do you say that?
The jet lag.
The jet lag.
Jet lag.
You take out that jet lag doing 10 minutes. Go to the grass.
Oh, really?
Yes. I didn't believe in that, but I said I'm gonna try it. I tried it and. Wow, was amazing.
People probably all around the world think he's a weirdo. They're like, who's this man? He comes to our country, he takes his shoes off, and he's walking around in circles in the
Some
grass.
Mexican costume. Or...
Exactly. Like,
Did you see? This is kind of funny. Did you see Hard Die? Die Hard? Die Hard.
Die Hard.
With Bruce Willis.
I mean, that was
We were-
1990s.
Yeah,
so
exactly,
I
but-
faintly remember some of the parts.
If you see that movie again, in the beginning of the movie, Bruce Willis is speaking with another guy in the airplane, and they were saying, "Hey, when you arrive, if you feel stressed, take your shoes out and try to walk a little bit." And he said, "This guy," Bruce Willis said that when he's killing everybody. Suddenly he
It's
feels so
barefoot?
stressed, yeah, and he took the shoes
really?
out and started. Oh my God, this guy was real, and I didn't realize that until 20 years, 30 years after.
Yeah.
I did it, and I remember as soon as I was doing that, and I feel like the relief. I remember that part of the movie. I say, "How I know this 30 years ago, and
Yeah.
I never did it." You know,
just never put two and two together.
Feeling like Bruce Willis.
Yeah,
Really?
killing all the people. Oh my God.
Then Luis with a gun like barefoot.
Barefoot.
Barefoot with a gun in a random country. Yeah, that's. You know what?
It's
Did
a
you see
hobby.
the
I can't help you because you
Did
are
you see
my
this
attorney,
building?
so-
It's his hobby.
Normal.
Him.
Yeah,
In Playa, you are free to do that.
Yeah, well, I'm
type
fine.
of things,
Look,
and
if you're walking around with no shoes on, acting, weird, then
It's normal.
normal.
yeah,
Yeah, it's totally normal. And that's another
No,
thing.
but in Playa you need chanclas. If they see you barefoot, is that guy's from Tulum.
That was actually something we were discussing before we started was the predictive programming that's in the movies now. And they've always been in the movies, but there's a lot of predictive programming in there. So if you look at some of the children's movies, which we're not even going to discuss because I think we all know, and it only takes a few seconds to look it up, and it's real, and they apologized for it. But the things that the predictive programming is involved in Hollywood, and there's a lot of things that they want to happen that our consciousness will create to happen through these movies. I'm not going to go too much into detail about it because, I don't want to end up, whatever.
Yeah, got it.
But Hollywood have, they do weird shit. That's the best way I can put it. Excuse
Definitely.
my language.
The most thing the better things that they did for us, at least, was the Coco movie. I mean, that's the only thing that I have to thank him. Yeah.
It's a Coco movie.
Remember me.
Yeah,
What is it?
You never saw it?
It's the first time that we sung in the podcast.
Yeah.
including
I think
Yeah,
the
Coco
movie is
from
called Coco.
Disney. Yeah. Talking about
It's a
Dia de
Disney
Muertos.
Mexican movie. You never see it?
First off, I don't really watch TV. I spend most of my time reading, or I love Billy Carson. I started out with David Icke about 20-something years ago. Then I moved over to Graham
David who?
Hancock. David Icke.
Okay.
Then I moved over to Graham Hancock and Michael Cremo, which is one of the most boring books you're ever going to read, but it is very informational. It's about this big, and it's just facts, okay?
Nice.
But then I started listening to Billy Carson. The internet came out. That's the difference. And there's so much information. I think he's been on Joe Rogan and most of the major
The podcast.
Yeah, exactly.
We're almost there. We're almost.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Sure. You're getting close. Just
Sure, whatever you say. Yeah, of course.
2,000 views. The difference. Joe Rogan.
Please help us.
No, we are going for you.
There's a very interesting podcast now that you mention it.
Yeah.
Which one?
Joe Rogan.
I was thinking about Bill Carson.
Carson.
Oh, Billy Carson. Yeah, I mean, you just that man. He went to MIT. The topics that he discusses and the way he is able to put all of the pieces of the puzzle together in such an eloquent manner and spit these information off of the top of his head, like, he's one of the very few that can actually read the cuneiform for the Book of Thoth, like the Emerald Tablets, excuse me, which date back to roughly about 38,000 years ago. And a lot of the ancient scripts that we find are actually based on the Emerald Tablets and those stories, So, like I said before, we've been lied to. There's a lot of interesting information out there, and it's starting to come out.
But how much is too much? What I mean is that, for example, we know, or I'm aware, that we live in a very superficial life,
Correct.
And you start learning about all these things, and as you said, now when you learn all of this, you are looking for a better quality life. So, do you think it's good to know all these things?
You go ahead, run with it.
Oh yeah, we're back. Some minor details happened, but we had to restart. But we're gonna just close it out here with our guest. And basically, the message that we want to send you and the topic of our conversation is that, in fact, we do live very superficial lives, but there's no better place to live them than here, right?
Yeah.
So
Totally.
Come invest and know us and know Adrien. And if we can be of any service helping you out with your journey, we'll be pleased to.
Yeah.
Right?
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Take care.
Thank you, guys.
Bye.
Bye.